What's up, everybody? Fire Sports TV here, giving you your Week 15 picks. Last week I went 10-6, making it my second positive week in a row. Overall, I'm 58-60, so I'm coming back, and I'm planning to get to 600 by the end of the season, and we can do it. Going right into it, Buccaneers and Rams. I think Buccaneers are going to win this week. They're a better team. They're a younger team. Rams, who knows if their head coach is staying next year. Who knows who their starting quarterback will be next year. But the winner is the Buccaneers. Giants and Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to win this game. There's not going to be an upset here, although some people are calling it their upset. Giants are really inconsistent, and I think that's what's going to kill them. So is everyone else in my division, but especially the Giants. And the question is, can they play 4 quarters? And quite often they have not. On the other side, you have the Panthers, who are undefeated. So I think they will do it. And they'll do it with style. I think they're going to win this game by a big margin. Panthers should win. Dallas versus Jets. Dallas is a really, really bad team, but it's because they lost Tony Romo, and I do think that's a huge part of it, which sucks. Even as an Eagles fan, I have to say, you never really want to see a player go down and get hurt. But he did. It happened, and because of that, their season's over, personally. On the other side, you have the Jets, who are in the playoffs right now, but the AFC is so tight that you have to win games, especially starting now all the way till the end. You can't start slacking off all because you're in the playoffs now. So we'll see what happens. I think Jets should win this one by a big margin as well. They're a good team, and they're going to find the players like Brandon Marshall, and they'll make the plays. So Jets should win this game. Patriots and Titans. Patriots are a very, very good team. Edelman's out until probably even the Super Bowl. I don't actually know. And that's a tough loss. But Amendola and Gronk are playing. Gronk's okay, thank God. But they're playing and they're good. And the question is who can stop Tom Brady? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that question is. So I think Patriots will beat the Titans in this game. It should be a blowout win. Patriots will win. Redskins versus Bills. Last week my Eagles beat the Bills. I think shutting some people up, but who knows. Redskins still have the highest chance of winning the division, possibly, behind my Eagles. So this game is a must-win for them, but so it is for the Bills as well. I think I'm going to go with the Redskins since they have the better home record, and they're really good at home. And I think Cousins will live up to the pressure. I don't think he'll choke. He should do okay, and they should win the game. Making our game against them, the Eagles, and that is really, really competitive. Your winner is Redskins. Next is Ravens and Chiefs. Ravens have lost so much this year, it's not even fair to say they suck. They just got really unlucky, like the Chargers and many others. But they did lose a lot. The quarterback, the running back, what more can you ask from a team when that kind of stuff happens? On the other side, you have the Chiefs, who started off really slow, and since then have really excelled and played the way we all thought they could and should. And I think they have a chance, as some of the other YouTube prognosticators think, that they might take the whole AFC West. It's, who knows who's going to win it. And Denver has a 2-game lead right now, but we'll see what happens. I think they have a 25% chance, but look for them to be a threat moving into playoffs. They're not going to sit there quietly and, lose the first week, or maybe they will, but don't count them out. They're a good team moving forward, and they've proved it the past 5 to 7 weeks. So I think Chiefs are going to win this game. Texans and Colts. I had the Colts winning last week, and they got shut out by the Jaguars. It's really hard to go for the Colts. Now, they're saying that Andrew Luck might not even play for the rest of the season, but Matt Hasselbeck probably still wants wins, right? And the team doesn't want to just lose everything. On the other side, you have Texans, who I think will actually win the division at the end of the day. So I have to go with the Texans. So that's who I think is going to win. But who knows? This is one of those games that are how bad the Colts really want it, but Texans should win it. Falcons against the Jaguars. Jaguars shut out the Colts last week, as I just said. But the real question comes with the Falcons. Can the Falcons win a game? I mean, they have, but can they win anytime soon? Or are they going to just lose the rest of the next 3 games? Because that's what most people are thinking. They're out of it anyways. But they're technically not out of it. and that's crazy after losing so many games in a row. But they did start 5-0, and that definitely saved them moving forward. I think they should win this game. They do have the offensive weapons in Julio Jones and Devontae Freeman and Matt Ryan. I know he's not playing well, but he played well earlier in the season, or midway at least. He's shown signs, and in the past he's been, I would say, above average, not like amazing, not great, just above average. And he should be able to win these kinds of games, to be honest. And I think they will. I think this is one of those teams that even if it's not for the playoff spot, it's just a win that they need, and they know they need. So look for the Atlanta Falcons to win this game. That's my pick. Next, we have a divisional game between the Bears and the Vikings. I strongly think that the Vikings will win. I'm not calling out the Bears or my friend who's a Bears fan, but the Bears have let me down 2 weeks in a row. You know, they played well, but they're not finishing the games, and that sucks. But on the other side, you have the Vikings, who also have lost, and I knew they would lose to the Cardinals. I called that in my last video, and I think the Cardinals are a very, very good team. But Vikings are definitely, that's a whole side conversation. I think Vikings are going to win this game. I'm going to leave it at that. Vikings will win and probably make playoffs. More than likely make playoffs. The next game is the Packers against the Raiders. The Packers should win this game as well. Raiders won last week. They beat Denver. I'm not surprised. I know that in my video I said Denver would win. I'm not totally surprised. The Raiders lost their first game off a pick at the end of the game. So, yeah, when you look at it, it wasn't out of it. It wasn't like they lost by 20 points. Oh, it should be an easy one unless they explode and Raiders go crazy. No, they lost by a last-minute mistake. And this week, they won because they shut out. They were able to finish off the game, unlike the first one. With that said, the Packers are playing better. You know, they're looking okay. So I think the Packers should win. They're still a top team despite what's been happening with them this year and the loss of Jordy Nelson. But don't count them out so easily. Aaron Rodgers really knows what he's doing at quarterback, obviously. He's proved it year after year after year. And I really do respect him, and I think he'll be able to win this game pretty easily. Packers are your winners. Browns and Seahawks. The smile on my face is because of the name Doug Baldwin. Now, he's on my fantasy team. Yes, I traded for him about 3 weeks ago before he started going completely crazy. He had one good game before I traded for him, but then he went ballistic. And the reason I am smiling and saying, yeah, I'm going to call him out, obviously, because he's on my fantasy team. But he's really good. He's been playing well, and I want to point him out because he's becoming Russell Wilson's to-go guy. He's also opening up Lockett, because Lockett has played great games too. But both these guys have been decently quiet all year when they've lost games. Now that they're winning, you're seeing last game Baldwin and Lockett combined for 5 touchdowns. When you have players like this stepping up and catching the ball, not dropping, that's huge, and that's a big thing, and Russell Wilson really needs that kind of he really needs people to step up like that. And I think moving forward, that'll really make the Seahawks as dangerous as they were last year. Of course, when they make playoffs, because they will, Rawls should be fully healthy again. I know he got a little bit hurt tweaked last game, but he should be healthy. And so should Marshawn Lynch. He should be coming back for playoffs, and that'll be a huge difference maker if you ask me. And this team is a threat moving forward. Seahawks should win this game easily. So that's my pick. Bengals and 49ers. Yikes. Bengals lost their quarterback and their tight end. Eifert, or however you want to pronounce it, I call him Eifert. And Andy Dalton are both out. That hurts a lot. But they do have talent on this team. I think it'll force AJ Green to play even better, and he'll step up to it. And Marvin Jones as well. And yes, Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard at running back, and they're both players who can make big plays game in and game out. So I think they'll make up for their loss, because you can say that, they're in the playoffs too. They don't really need every single win. Yeah, they do. Believe it or not, home field advantage is a huge part, and they'll need it moving into the playoffs. And I believe they'll win this game because of how much they need it. I know a lot of people are saying this could be the upset game. 49ers could pull it off due to the injury, but they're a good team. Bengals are a good team, and they're not going to start falling apart now either. So I think that's my pick is Cincinnati winning this game. Next game is the 50-50 game of the week. If I didn't vow to myself to give you guys every pick every week, I would leave this one out, trust me. But this is Dolphins and Chargers. I like the Chargers in the beginning of the season. I like them because I respect the team and I respect Phillip Rivers and I really like Keenan Allen and all of them. But with Keenan Allen going down and this whole team just struggling, and they've been really, really injured. People are like saying, "Oh, well, Baltimore has been really injured," and now Bengals because of the quarterback. I'm like, have you seen the Chargers? They've lost so many players in their secondary. They've lost corners. They've lost defensive linebackers. They've lost Keenan Allen, their star receiver, and it's hard when you're already a struggling team to lose that. And I mean, it is what it is. That's football. But I think at the end of the day, I have to tilt towards them, even though it's against the Dolphins team who has shown some explosive games in the past. I don't know. I just think Phillip Rivers can show up this game, and I think he knows that like what's on the line, even though the season's over for both of them. Really, both teams are out of the playoff picture completely. So the question is like who wants him more or who doesn't want the better draft pick. But I think the Chargers should win this game. Look for Phillip Rivers to throw for one of those other 500 passing games. He's a good player, and despite their failures, this team still has a bright future moving forward. Even if they land in LA, maybe it'll help them even more. Who knows? Good luck to them next year, but Chargers are going to win this game at least. Broncos versus Steelers. Whew. It should be a good game. This should be a fun game. Broncos are still in first place, but Chiefs are knocking at the door still. And I'm saying that because they have an easier schedule moving forward. Broncos are getting knocked on by the Chiefs, and I think they have more pressure to win these games under Brock Osweiler. If Peyton Manning does play, which this is Wednesday, so we don't know whether they're sticking with Osweiler for the rest of the season even, or if they're going to go to Peyton Manning. I don't know the situation, but I don't think it really matters. I think either way, Steelers are going to win this game. They're in the playoff hunt, and I've said it for the past 3 weeks, and I have not been proved wrong once yet, and I don't think this will be it either. They're my upset of the week. Remember that. Steelers are a very powerful offensive team, and whatever they lack in defense, they make up for in offense. Now, don't get me wrong, they need to figure things out defensively, or else, if the offense does struggle, they'll have a bad night. A bad night. But this team is good. This team's really good. And, I said it last week, how do you stop 3 receivers who can score 2 touchdowns a game on you like that for over 100-yard receiving? How do you do that? And when you do stop that, how do you stop Williams, who's having a great, great season, being healthy and all? So at the end of the day, I have Steelers pulling the upset. That's my pick. Cardinals and Eagles. My Eagles won 2 in a row and are now in a 3-way tie with the Giants and the Redskins. I think it's between us and the Redskins. Giants have a pretty tough schedule, and Cowboys are honestly out of it. I don't even know why people still have hope. But it's between us and the Redskins. And our game will come down to us versus them, but it starts with today. Or Sunday, sorry. And I don't think my Eagles will be able to beat the Cardinals. Now, I'm going to say this as an Eagles fan. I wouldn't be surprised at all, and I really do mean that, if I see even a point victory or a 30-point blowout. I will not be surprised by any means. I think that's how my team should have been playing from the beginning of the year. And Chip Kelly is starting to figure things out. I'm not saying he's coaching like a Hall of Fame coach now, but he's figuring some things out. Obviously, things are working to win 2 in a row. So we'll see how he rides the wave going into what's going to be our second hardest game of the whole season behind the Patriots game. And what's going to be a really key thing moving into the end of the season and potentially playoffs. Because this could be a team we run into in playoffs if we are successful. So I think my final decision will be the Cardinals, but don't be completely surprised. Cardinals are going to win this game. Lions versus Saints is the final game. It's Monday night's game. What can I say about this game? Not much. Neither one of these teams are making playoffs. I'm pointing more towards the Saints to win this game because they just need a little bit of defense and they should be able to come up on top because their offense is good. Their offense has shown many, many times that they can run with most defenses. They made a hell of a show against the Panthers. Let me give you that much. So I do think Saints should be able to win this game. I think Drew Brees just needs it under his belt. And I'm not saying for stats purposes. I think he needs it under his belt to know that this team hasn't completely fallen apart on him. And on the other side, you have Lions who they show they have life after a complete failure of a start. But I think it was just like a little bit of a spark, and that's where it ends. They're also kind of injured, and we'll see what happens with them in the offseason. But I just don't see Calvin Johnson completely obliterating the Saints, even though their secondary is weak, because there's not many other people who can do major damage. I know Tate, don't get me wrong, Tate's great. Do not get me wrong. And Riddick is good out of the backfield. And Abdullah can run. But again, I think it's also a 50-50 game because they're not really playing for much but themselves. But I do think Saints will win this game there. They have a high-powered offense. And I like that. I'm a really offensive pro guy. So I like that. And I like to see them succeed a little bit more. So I have the Saints winning. That's my final pick of the week. Thank you, everyone, for watching my video. It really, truly does mean a lot, especially now that I'm doing better. Thank you for supporting me. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. Till next week, Fire Sports TV out.